From who they are to how they became one of the biggest conspiracy theories ever and more. Join me as we explore the secret society of the Illuminati. There are many mysteries out there in our world and even in our universe, but focusing on Earth, there have been thoughts and feelings about certain events that have happened in such a way that they felt orchestrated by someone or something that had their own goals in mind. These shadow people, or even shadow cabinets, have been the source of numerous conspiracy theories over the years, and arguably one of the biggest of them all is the question of the Illuminati, a group so powerful that they consistently influence events on a global scale. One of the biggest ironies about this particular conspiracy theory is that they honestly did exist. They were indeed a real group of people who existed at one time. They were a secret society formed by powerful people, and they did try and affect the world at large. What many people take for granted, though, is how long this group lasted, what real power they had, and that they are still around today manipulating things. The truth is a bit complicated, but we'll break it all down for you, starting off with the history of the group. So where does this all start? Well, this would be with the Bavarian Illuminati. It was founded by a professor in Bavaria, believe it or not, and in regards to the purpose of the group, it was honestly very simple. The professor had a personal belief that there were some social ideas and religious notions that were being taken as the end-all be-all of society and were outdated. Which, if you think about it, it's not that radical. Humanity over the years has had to fight all sorts of preconceived notions about people, beliefs, social structures, and more because we have been told they are right, but in reality, they aren't. This was what the professor was trying to help people understand, and he wanted to illuminate this in the minds of others. Now, if you're curious, yes, he did make this to be a secret society, and it's been documented that he did this in line with other groups like the Knights Templar and the Freemasons. However, his goal was not conquest or power, but to support freedom. Boy, that sounds familiar. Yes, this group was meant to support freedom from all religious prejudices and promote the birth of universal happiness in quick order. Doesn't that sound like a certain belief system from the colonies before the Revolutionary War? Sure sounds like it, despite this group being in Bavaria and forming mere months before the Declaration of Independence was made and signed. The professor, Adam Weishaupt, was no fool, though. He knew that if he was going to get this to work, he needed to make sure that he had members that could actually help him with his goals. As such, all members of the society had to be approved by another member. They had to be from a wealthy family or have wealth themselves, and arguably, most importantly, have strong social ties and connections with the world around them. Why would these things matter? As noted, to get things done, you need people who can get things done. And in the 18th century, especially, the group was founded in May 1776, wealth and social status mattered more than ever. If you had a group of street-level people, for example, in terms of status, you could get the word out, but you wouldn't be able to affect much unless you had the right numbers. In contrast, if you had the wealth to get into certain social functions or had the ear of certain powerful people, you could get things in motion rather quickly. The Bavarian Illuminati weren't just a group, though. They, too, had their own ranks and systems. When you joined the group, you were given the novice rank, and through working with the group, you could get higher ranks. By the time 1784 came around, it's believed that there were around 2,000 to 3,000 people in the Illuminati group. That's quite a number to grow in about 8 years, especially given the upheaval the world was in at the time thanks to the Revolutionary War. But what might surprise you is that by the time the group grew to this size, they weren't just a group of believers. They were a group of powerful players. They had doctors, politicians, writers, and more, all being a part of the group. And that meant that they had influence, or at the very least, the power to influence people. Their group grew in terms of their systems too, allowing members to have secret names and even reach the level of king within the group. The problem, though, was that they eventually gained the attention of the government, who weren't too thrilled that a secret group was trying to influence policy under their noses. And thus, in 1787, there was a death penalty to anyone who was caught being a part of the Illuminati. This is where history takes a branching path, because not unlike the revolutionaries in the colonies who faced their own death penalty for opposing England, the Illuminati had a choice: continue their work in secret and fight back, or disband. According to history, they took the latter option. The death penalty was too much, and certain documents state that at the time there was much dissent within the group to truly continue. As such, the group decided it was best to disband and stay alive with the ideals in their hearts instead of living on with their heads, not on their shoulders. Before we continue with the history of the Illuminati, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. That way you don't miss any of our weekly videos. But this is where the branching path takes an interesting turn, because in the minds of many, the Illuminati did not die that year or in the years since. They continued on, hiding from those who hated them and continued to grow, influencing the world and changing it to better suit their views. That in turn is just the overall version of what people think the Illuminati are doing or what they are like. In truth, a lot of groups have a lot of different visions for what the Illuminati are or aren't and how much power they influence. This is why there are a lot of generalizations about them and why they pop up so much in conspiracy theory talk. Because if you need a secret group to propose is behind it, the Illuminati are an answer that will get everyone talking. But for those who believe in the very out there versions of the Illuminati, that's where things get very interesting. You see, the modern version of the Illuminati, if you will, is one of a group of men and women, there's always a debate as to how many of each, working together to build up power and influence in guiding the world in various ways. The major fear, though, is that they're trying to impose a new world order over the planet, and they're willing to go to extreme lengths in order to make it happen. This includes starting wars, putting certain people in power, and spreading diseases in order to better control the population. The people who are in the group are businessmen, possibly politicians, leaders in various religions, and some even say celebrities could be a part of it. And obviously, the reason that this group continues to permeate the world and its beliefs is because it's a secret society. With the fall of the original group, the need for it to be secret was paramount, so any member of the group had to be sworn to utter silence about the group and their plans so that the integrity of them could be protected. Because they are a secret society, it makes it very hard to prove that they're real or not real, and the fear of a secret group controlling everything from behind the scenes is more than enough to get people's dander up and get them to think about very extreme theories about the group. Like what? How about that the group is comprised of reptile people? Oh yeah, this is a real theory, and it was brought by British conspiracy theorist David Icke, who at one time was a popular sports journalist and not unlike someone in the Illuminati, had a lot of social connections and support. He used that to get onto a talk show in 1991 and reveal that the end was nigh, and that he was the chosen one to help bring the message to the world and protect them from what was coming. This in turn led to him becoming a major conspiracy theorist, writing over 20 books on his theories and the end of the world, and being a star of the conspiracy theory world, including getting quite a support group from those who honestly do believe him. What a world, am I right? Oh, but it gets better. Remember the lizard people? According to Icke, the lizard people aren't a new thing. Rather, they've been here since ancient times. What's more, he believes that the ancient texts of various cultures, including the Egyptians, give clues as to how this is possible. Basically, these lizard people have gone and learned how to shapeshift into human forms. What's more, they have bred with humans to create hybrids that can go from human to lizard and back again, which is also referenced in historical text in Icke's mind. These human-lizard hybrids went and became a part of royal families and then big business leaders, ensuring that they would be at the top of society and help govern it. Icke held this belief to this day, even saying in 2017 that he had proof from CIA insiders that these transformational people were real. Take that as you will. Unless you think that it's only a small group of people who believe in Icke, you'd be wrong, because a poll done recently suggested that millions of Americans believe him. Of course, such a poll is unreliable, but even if 1 million people worldwide believed this theory, that would honestly be shocking. A more credible reason that people believe that the Illuminati still exist in some form, more than likely a regular human form, is that we know that secret societies still exist to this day. One of them, for example, is the Bilderberg Group, a group that does indeed bring powerful people together to, in their words, talk about global issues, and they admit that they have members from various nations, belief systems, and power sets. And more interesting of all, they do admit to keep their meetings secret in terms of their content. What's more, there are various college groups and societies that have been exposed over the years that are known to be very dark in their traditions and beliefs. And these are just college kids, so imagine what adults could do if they got together. And lest we forget, there is a group of adults who have been operating in some form or another for hundreds of years and have allegedly been using their power to influence things. The Freemasons. The Freemasons are believed to have been the successors to the Knights Templar, and it's been confirmed throughout history that the group not only continued on via the birth of America, but many United States presidents, founding fathers, and captains of industry are or were a part of the group. It's even believed that George Washington was a Freemason. And it should be noted that this group too was a global one, with a paper coming out in recent years talking about various UK politicians and leaders being a part of the group. Now, depending on who you believe, the Freemasons aren't a group that is vying for power, but rather are just making sure the world is in check, or they're lobbying for even more powerful members to grow their ranks even more. Regardless, if a group like this could endure for hundreds of years, why not the Illuminati? And digging even deeper into the dark orders of the world, why not the ones who believe in black magic and sorcery? The ones who believe that they worship gods who grant them power to destroy their enemies? Or how about groups that operate in secret and desire to wipe out certain races, like the Ku Klux Klan? And what about groups like Anonymous, who try and preach their own views of the world all the while hiding their faces behind masks? These groups were born in secret, tried to conceal their members to ensure that scrutiny wasn't put upon them, and of course, tried to carry out nefarious goals. So if these groups existed, why not the Illuminati? Plus, we need to understand that there very well could be an actual Illuminati of some shape or form in the world today. They wouldn't have to be related or even descended from the Bavarian Illuminati, but rather they could just be a group of people who were inspired by what they were trying to preach to the world. To have an enlightened state of mind free from the grips and shackles of various religions and groups. And to be clear, there are many people who claim to be the Illuminati in some shape or form, even getting an official website for the group. The talk of the Illuminati has permeated throughout the world in such a way that it's now a part of pop culture and beyond. The group has been a part of movies and TV shows and is even in Marvel Comics via a group of heroes who operate in secret to either save the universe or protect the Infinity Stones. But as for the real world, does the Illuminati truly exist like people picture them? We're not likely to find out unless they make themselves known. Thanks for watching, everyone. What do you think of this history of the Illuminati? Do you believe they exist? Do you think they have a big impact on our world, or just the stuff of legends? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you next time on the channel.